What happened, Ubisoft? You won last year.
Oh, yeah, you were really good last year with flying colors. This year, but not so much.
Yeah, this year you're like, okay, let's just do everything we did last year again, because pretty much a lot of the games...
Everybody liked 2012. Let's pull it back to 2013.
They had the same announcer and everything.
And it's even the same methodology of announcing a new IP, too.
Yes.
In the end, though, it kind of fell flat on its face, and it's actually one of the lower points of this particular conference listing. Which is odd, to say the least, because Ubisoft has some solid games.
It has solid games, just the conference was not very good. First, Aisha Taylor.
Yeah, she's back again. Last year, it was her and Tabascus. But he was removed this time, and she was by herself. But she was very self-referential this time.
Yes.
She knew that people talked about her last time, and so she emphasized that more so this year.
And I think it actually did bad for her, because it didn't seem natural. It seemed like she was forcing herself.
Yeah, and I know that she was overall pretty good, but there was obviously this awkward moments every now and again where she would say something that seemed like it was a little too risque, but at the same time it was...
She was pushing her boundaries.
Yeah, she was pushing her boundaries more than she probably could have. On that note, let's move on to the actual announcements that came. So first, we had Jerry Cantrell come out, and he grabbed a guitar. He was from the guitarist of Alice in Chains, and he started playing guitar. I'm like, oh, what can this possibly be?
Rock band?
No, it was Rocksmith 2014. He was playing what was called session mode, which essentially is if you play the music, other instruments will pop in and try and fit what you're playing. Which was actually pretty cool for an idea. It just seemed odd, because obviously it can't be possibly running off the game because they were showing multiple screens with multiple things happening. So I'm like, okay, really? Is it really going to act like that, or is it not? I don't know. But it looked pretty solid. It was a nice introduction. I don't think it had anything on Florida from last year, but whatever. It was okay, a way to start. But once again, who gets Rocksmith? I don't know. Who buys Rocksmith?
I don't know. I thought the music genre was dead.
I thought the guitar genre was dead, but here we are with a second iteration. Okay, whatever. Then we move on to the second game, and it was Splinter Cell Blacklist.
Yes! If you could see a trailer,
if you could see the trailer, I didn't see a trailer.
What was that trailer? It was like a bunch of screens, a bunch of images, a bunch of words. There was words said. There was pictures shown. There was things being done.
No gameplay, though. There was just lots of things happening.
I couldn't figure out what was going on, and finally it said Splinter Cell Blacklist. Okay, last year you actually showed gameplay footage. You actually had to show something.
Well, I think as the game comes out in August, they decide just to be this preview showing of the story and all hyping that up, and then having the camera pull out like so far back you can't see even that happening. But I don't know what about it's one thing. If you ever do a conference later in your lives, have the camera on what you're showing. Instead of being like, hey guys, check out the lighting on the stuff. And
check out the audience. Can't we just watch the game? The game is supposed to come out in August, like you said.
So then, after Blacklist was shown, with its combobulation of colors...
I don't know what it was.
We saw Rayman Legends.
Yay!
Which started a trend of showing off the game, talking about the game, and then showing off the game again.
Yeah, showing off a CG, talking about it, gameplay.
It was odd, and it felt like they were trying to bookend everything. Like, as opposed to some places like Microsoft, where they were like, here's a game, here's a game, here's a game, here's a game. This was like, here's a game.
Let's talk about the game.
Let's show the game again, just for good measure.
Just make sure you got it.
It was almost too produced. It was actually, yeah, in the way it was. Let's have a CG trailer of Rayman Legends, even though we've shown you the gameplay footage of this game before, and it's actually got a demo on the Wii U. Let's show this again anyway, since we figured why not. Then, after I'm talking about the game for like 5 minutes, let's show the actual gameplay footage.
Yeah.
That almost resembles that footage, but in the game. So it's like, what? Okay, it looks good. Lots of levels.
We thank Ubisoft for going out of their way to make things cinematic,
but yeah, I mean, it's kind of a little bit much, guys.
To show us the game.
Yeah, and they didn't have any demo, obviously, because they showed it off last year, and we already know what to expect.
Yeah.
Then after that, they talked about in the mobile game, The Mighty Quest for Epic Loot, which is, I think, is more of like a tower defense sort of game, where you try and protect your place from being robbed, while also going to rob other people, from what I understand.
Did they show any gameplay footage?
They showed some of their talking about it, but they really didn't show like in-game direct feed footage. They instead showed about a 3-minute long trailer that was CG of interviewing this one guy and having awkward scenes every 5 to 10 seconds. It wasn't a good trailer.
No, it didn't make me want the game.
I was like, are you just trying...
Are you trying to be funny and get us on the humor?
They tried too hard, is the best way to put it. As a person who likes humor, that just tried way too much. There were some scenes that were good, but others was like, are we really doing this?
Can this be over soon?
Then came, funny, South Park: The Stick of Truth.
This one was fairly short. It just said like 2 lines, some new
footage. If you could tell, I couldn't tell it was footage or not. No, that's what's the best thing about the game. Is the game's engine makes it look like a South Park game. That was gameplay footage of the game.
Yeah, it looked like just like a cartoon episode, which is good.
Which is really good.
Again, they should have shoved more footage because that was it. It was in and out.
It was in and out. We were talking about South Park, and now we're done. It was kind of oddly placed.
They should have expanded a little bit, especially since they got it from THQ, which is no longer around anymore.
Yeah, R.I.P. THQ. And then they announced their new IP, the first one of 2 new IPs they're going to show off this particular conference. The Crew. 3 racers
another
racing game involving cars.
Team racing
games. This one you actually control. You drive one person, but you're in a group of multiple other drivers, and you're trying to do like certain jobs. Like, I'm going to steal this thing over here. We got to steal the plans, and then go to this location and drop it off. So
or something.
And what happens is that you have your team, and you have the cops chasing you, and then it's a more. They said it was essentially a full open world, which, by the way, is only apparently the United States of America. And you could jump between them going super fast once again with the tablet. So tablet, there's the tablet.
You also can make your own car.
Oh, you can also design your own car using the tablet, and then have it uploaded onto the game through the cloud, I'm sure. And on that note, we've now covered 3 for 3 on next gen racers and tablets. On top of that, in fact, Ubisoft actually uses tablets quite often.
A lot, actually. They kept bringing it out.
So that the game looked pretty standard, and which made me more concerned is that it's coming out this year. And like, dude, Need for Speed comes out around the same time.
Wait, so does like Forza Motorsport 5.
Shh, don't tell them that. I'm trying to give them a sense of hope.
What about Gran Turismo?
Shh, that's not even this video.
Oh, but you get the point, right? It's again another game that might become white noise if it's not careful. The big thing they try to push was that if you're just playing this mission, you're having trouble. You tell your friends, "Hey, I'm having trouble. Join up with me." And your friends can all join up, and the game becomes multiplayer. That's the big thing they're trying to push, is that multiplayer and single player are together the same thing.
Isn't that kind of what Burnout Paradise was trying to be, to a degree?
I don't know. I never tried multiplayer for Burnout Paradise.
Oh, well, in that case, let's move on to the next one.
Also, there was one more thing. You could actually take apart your car and change everything, like the engine. Like, everyone can change the engine.
Well, it's supposed to be like more like visual. To take things apart, pick and choose what you want to include in it, put it in, and then put it back together. It
truly customize your car, as they're trying to say.
Yeah, and thus the whole app thing. On that note, they showed off Watch Dogs again.
Yay!
With the CG trailer.
No!
I guess they decided not to show it because they're going to have a demo for it later. Or something like that.
I was like, I wanted to see it. I wanted to see that game. Look so good. And they showed a CG trailer. No, the trailer looked nice. Mind you, I didn't have a problem with that. They never. Every time they show a CG trailer, I'm like, oh, this looks good. This looks good. They know what they're doing visually.
But why are we watching this?
I want to see the game. I really do.
And so that's going to be another time they show up the demo. They didn't have anything really to talk about. They just talked about it, I guess.
Yeah, they just talked about briefly.
So then...
And did they do anything with the cell phones?
I don't think they did, no.
The multiplayer. Don't they have multiplayer functionality with the cell phones?
I can't remember.
We've seen so many cell phones.
On that note, even Aisha was laughing at this one. Just Dance 2014.
Yes, they've changed it from number to year, which sounds great.
Now it's a yearly thing, much like Rocksmith, I guess. It's going to be a yearly thing. Can't wait for Just Dance 2015. Okay, so
again,
it's on every platform.
Every platform. You can now play with 6 people in some games.
Some games you can play with 6 people,
and now you can also with the Wii U gamepad you can do the
move setup and whatnot as you did before. So that was nice to see the Wii U actually shown in this conference in any form, because it was not in anywhere else.
Yes, but that's basically it. They showed off more stuff.
Yeah. So, moving on from Just Dance for 2014, they decided they want to go back to Rabbids, because Rabbids have been
Rabbids are great.
Because the Rabbids were fairly new characters that have been used all this past generation.
Yes,
they kind of moved from the Wii to the Kinect system, and now they are in fact moving to Xbox One and television.
Yes. When you thought the Xbox One talked about television and that'd be it, no,
Rabbids are now coming to TV through Nickelodeon.
Yes, which means they're probably getting dumbed down heavily.
And on that note, they announced a game involved with it called Rabbids Invasion.
Yes.
And what happens is that through Xbox One, specifically...
Oh, by the way, it's not a standalone game. This is a television interactive game.
So essentially, while the episode is running, you have either Xbox One or a tablet or something running at the running, and then it goes, okay... Before this episode even runs, you have a few seconds to pick your minigame. And then you pick 3 mini games, and it goes, let's show an episode. Hey, here's some them holding eggs. Let's make an egg minigame where you just use a
You
pointer,
point and aim your eggs, and that's it.
and you shoot while the episode's playing.
Like, literally, it's like nobody reacts to it. Like, it's like the rabbit's running, anything, eggs running at them, and nothing happens. Like, and you see an image appear on the screen.
It's literally a game. It's literally an overlay.
It's a DVD game.
Yeah, there's no actual. They said you can change the way the movie episode is. I'm like, no. The thing changed. Everything it was like a linear thing. There's no changing the feed from Nickelodeon while playing this game. It's literally just game overlays on top of an already playing episode.
It just reads for the episode.
And it didn't even run that smooth either, because from what we saw, even with the pre-recorded footage, it was like jumping around, it was jittery.
It also said like, "Oh, find this," and like you find it, and
it was
scream loud.
Yeah, screaming loud.
Ah!
Yeah, it was.
And that was it. And I'm like, so you can't just watch the show? You have to add more entertainment to it.
Yeah, it was actually terrible. One of the lowlights of the whole conference, the whole thing.
I'm like,
say.
what is this?
This isn't.
They don't even sound like rabbits.
This is not an interactive episode. It's not even much of a game. It's just something to distract you more. It's kind of crazy. So then they showed off Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag.
Yes.
It's another trailer.
Mm-hmm.
They showed off the CG, talked about it, then main gameplay.
Yes. And live gameplay.
They didn't do live gameplay.
That's what they're playing with control.
No, that was the PlayStation. That was Sony's conference. They showed it.
Well, anyways, they were playing the game,
and that looked good. Graphically, it's fine. The concept is pretty fun. You play as a pirate now, so that's cool. But that was pretty much it again. So what's going to Assassin's Creed?
Yay.
So then they decided to show off the next evolution in gaming, and they showed off Trials Fusion and Trials Frontier.
Yes. Fusion is for the next gen.
By next gen, we mean Xbox One and PlayStation 4.
And Trials Frontier is for the mobile devices.
Now, they didn't really show much footage of the former of those. They showed like what looked like footage. Like you're in the air, you're in the space, and then but it was really a very short period of time. And then it was obvious that at the end it was not actually in-game footage. It was showing a CG representation, because then the guy got thrown off the screen and fell into the phone game, and the gameplay there was more complete. And even then, it was jittery. It wasn't fully consistent.
For me, it's strange that they would do this, because if you want people to buy the console game, just make a console game. But now there's two of them fighting for the same crowd. It's going to feel kind of weird.
Yeah, but Trials is a really good franchise, so I have some faith that these two games will be pretty good too. Just a hunch, It's Trials. It's going to be fun one way or another. It's a matter of how much crazier can Fusion be compared to the previous two Trial games.
Mm-hmm.
And
Frontier's work.
Frontier needs to be smooth. And on that note, they finally decided to end it with a new IP by having the exact similar concept as Watch Dogs.
It went on for about seven minutes
of
them talking about this thing called like Black Winter.
They showed us like all these bad things were happening. How we have everyone does this. Everyone spends this much money. They use this much resources, and then all this this word type thing, like saying showing
infrastructure,
and then it falls apart.
And again, they did an experiment. They realized it would be bad, because if it was a pathogen on a dollar bill during Black Friday, everyone would be sick, and everything would be destroyed. Blah blah. But then the government was like, no, we're going to have some people on the inside, and this is what's going to happen. And this is our story. And it shows people walking around.
And so then they actually show off the game, which is called Tom Clancy's The Division.
They first announced it as The Division, then they added Tom Clancy's.
Yeah, so what happens here is that you play it's after this chaotic pathogen has killed large portions of the people, I guess. And
in New York.
And so you're walking around this city it's mostly abandoned, and it's a squad-based, online-based shooter, third-person shooter with chest-high walls. Not as interesting to me as Watch Dogs.
No.
In fact, almost at the beginning, I'm like, "Oh, this looks pretty neat, pretty swell."
Glowing areas, maps.
Oh, we got an incident. Let's go find out. Click on the pad. I think they showed an iPad or something. Let's go check. It's zoom in over there and go. Oh, there's something happening over there. Let's go there. They rush over there. We should go over there later. You mark it, and then you chest high wall shoot them up with other guys, and that was the end of it. You had some guys with a drone coming in, shooting them down. It was very expected, almost.
Yes, of course it's chest-high walls again. It's a shooter, and I really hope they expand on it. I'm not sure if it's a single-player campaign or if you have to be online for this.
I think you have to be online.
That's disappointing.
And I actually wonder exactly how it can be online. Are you going to be playing with multiple people? Is it going to be more online, like multiple groups of people playing or trying to fight for dominance? I have no idea. And that's something that they didn't let us know much of because the game is still early enough. They just announced it. Compared the fact that they use the exact same methodology to announce Watch Dogs, and then they come back with this one, and it's much more overblown. The gameplay is a bit more similar than you'd expect. To me, it didn't look that much more interesting than Watch Dogs.
For me, the concept is more interesting in Watch Dogs than this game. Maybe because the gameplay is so open-minded in the other game. This one is kind of... It's a shooter. For me, that's what I would say. It's a squad-based shooter. Where the other one was like, you could interact with everything, you could read up on people's stuff, and that seemed more interesting to me in the futuristic world.
Yeah, and this one is like kind of like not fully there yet. It's like post-apocalyptic concept. It's more Fallout-ish, but not really. It just.
Maybe I guess gotta talk more about it because right now I'm not seeing.
I'm not much. Sold entirely. It looks nice, but I'm not sold. On that note, that's Ubisoft.
That's Ubisoft.
So in hindsight, a lot of what they showed off were stuff we showed in 2012, like Rayman Legends, Splinter Cell. They even showed off the Watch Dogs. Just Dance is just the same as Just Dance. The Rabbids Invasion unveiling was terrible. And the Mighty Quest for Epic Loot was just a waste of time. Tom Clancy's The Division's unveiling felt contrived and forced. And on top of that, the Trials games were nice.
The Crew looked
by
okay.
now
we had seen 2 other of these games, so I'm sorry Ubisoft, but we're seeing too many of them by now.
There was a lot of copy pasting, I feel, from 2012 into this one, and to top it off, the game announcements that were new, The Crew, The Division, the Trials games, they weren't the same impact as Watch Dogs and Rayman Legends.
Watch Dogs was an announcement on a completely different level.
Yeah, and all these things come out, you're like, yeah. It didn't come up. I'd say it was one of my least favorite of the.
It was just. It didn't feel like I was being. It was going through the motions. I feel.
Yeah. And even the new game, like The Crew, it's like any other game. It didn't wow.
We're just. I think. I think Watch Dogs just.
Yeah, I'm psyched. I'm psyched for quite a few of the games I talked about, at least 2 or 3 of them. But at the same time, I'm not interested in the way they were trying to present them this time. And that concludes our thoughts of Ubisoft's conference. Click on the left side of this video to go over to EA's, and click on the right side to go to Sony's.